Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Cross Section here on MyTown TV. Chris Pullum with the usual suspects, Brian Hall, Mike Miller, and Ryan Parker. Thanks for joining us here tonight. You really don't have a choice. There's no real live sports here locally. And if you're watching us, it's because you watch high school sports. Otherwise, you wouldn't know who we are, if you even know who we are to begin with. But Chris Pullum, Brian Hall, Mike Miller, Ryan Parker. I missed last week's show, and I apologize for that. I heard it was a disaster.
It was.
So you guys couldn't pull it off without me.
We pulled it off of our queue online, so nobody has to see it anymore. That's how bad it was.
You had chicken wings?
Chicken
we'll
wings
get fed
were
tonight, too.
Chicken wings were great.
So if last week's show was a disaster, last night's game, UK and Vanderbilt, an absolute disaster for the Wildcats. And if you look at Mark Pope and the way his team is playing right now, you have to question, is he the guy for the job? Now, we didn't question that last year when this team overachieved, but this year, start with you, Brian. Your thoughts on last night's game in particular, and then we'll maybe get into a longer conversation about the direction of this team overall.
Well, disaster is the right word, and a friend of mine used the term unmitigated disaster today, and I don't think there's any better way to say it right now.
Mickey?
Out-rebounded, out-hustled, out-toughed, and out-coached. That's what I'll say about last night's game. It was a disaster in
Ryan?
Everything.
I don't like anything about it. I'm still for Mark Pope, though. I know he does bleed blue, and he's in it for the right reasons. I think he'll get the job done eventually. But adjusting to this new world and these new players who are, breaking the huddle with touch money, I don't like it, Chris.
No, I understand what you mean. And, as I mentioned earlier, you look at this team and you look at Mark Pope, and you look at what he did in year one, okay? I think there were a lot of question marks about Mark Pope going into year one, whether he was the right guy or not. I think you could make the case very rationally that he didn't have a very good resume to take over the Kentucky position. But once you hire a guy like Mark Pope, you're not hiring Bill Self or a Tommy Izzo or a Rick Pitino, a guy who's already established at the national level, who's won championships. You're basically gambling on a guy on his way up. When you do that, though, Ryan, don't you just have to accept that there's going to be some lumps along the way?
I think you do have to accept there's going to be some lumps, and the way the roster changes out every year now, you can't tell who you're getting in and stuff. I think he's got to fill the roster still, in my opinion. I'll throw this out there. You all can say it's the stupidest thing ever, with some Kentucky guys like Colin Porter.
Listen, I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that, guys who are playing for the right reasons. Andrew Carter, those two local guys, obviously, I'm big fans of, that I thought should have maybe had a chance. We're going to have some flatbread in just a few. After the break, we'll bring it back in. But so you've got that. You've got a team that last year with Mark Pope, I believe, overachieved. You had the same injury issues that you have this year. You had Lamont Butler, who was out with a shoulder. You had Robinson, who was out for the season with an injury that cost them a deep tournament run. Mm-hmm. This season, you've also got the injury bug, but what you don't have is the character on this team that you had last year. So basically, it's a swing and miss for this recruiting class, isn't it, Mike?
It's a swing and miss from top to bottom. I think, there was a lot of talk when this group came in. There's not an NBA player on the roster coming into this season other than probably Jaden Quaintance, and he was an unknown commodity coming off an ACL tear. Mm-hmm. So, if you're going to make a deep run in the NCAA tournament, then you got to think, I've got to have some studs on this team that's going to play at the next level, surefire NBA talent. He didn't have that last year. I think it was a great collection of talent to play in his system. This year, it's a collection of talent that obviously doesn't fit in his system, and you have no NBA player that can kind of put the team on his back. It's a swing and a miss on recruiting. The whole recruiting to his style,
chemistry, and
off court chemistry, they just don't work, and it's a swing and a miss at all levels for both.
Yeah. The one other dynamic that you have to consider in all this, and we had Blake Hester on a few weeks ago to talk about NIL and how that affects the game on so many levels that coaches didn't have to deal with, Brian, just a couple of years ago. And now you have this big motivator that wasn't there. There was a point in time, and not too distant past, that I think players really did play for at least partially for the name on the front of the jersey and obviously for a chance to go play at the next level too. But now there's so much more in it. There's the NIL money that's involved in it. And, if you're an old school coach, how do you relate? And I think Pope is really more old school in the fact that I think he's a little more innovative offensively when he has the team to do it than an old school coach. But his mentality is still rah, you're doing it for the team. We're a team together. We're fighting together. I'm not so sure that resonates with players right now, does it?
It doesn't. And we talked about it last week when you weren't here, that Mark Pope is probably taking on more than he should be. I read an article today, somebody suggested not only hiring a general manager, but the suggestion was Derek Anderson, who I thought would be an amazing fit. And a lot of teams have GMs. We have a football GM at Kentucky now, and I think at some point Pope has to find a happy medium of what he does and what everybody around him does.
Yeah, Derek Anderson, who had a terrific NBA career. He then made a fortune after that with the Jumpman product and working with Nike and partnerships. But he would be an excellent choice. But the issue right now, and I think the UK team, the guy showed it in a video last night before the game. This is a big game. You're playing on the road in Nashville. 9 o'clock. Top 15 team. You've got Kentucky fans that brave the weather to drive down 65 to get to that game in dangerous conditions. They are huddled up before the game, and they break their huddle by screaming together in unison, "Touch money." Now, I'm a middle-aged man. To me, that might mean something different than it does to a kid in their late teens and 20s. But to me, you do something like that, you break a huddle like that, and you come out and you perform the way they performed or the way they didn't perform. I mean, am I reading too much into that, guys?
It's not a good look. It's just, it is about what you said earlier, not playing for the name on the jersey or on the front of the jersey, and it's just not a good look.
So we've gone from Mark Pope's, tell me who's in the house tonight, UK, to touch money.
To touch money, right.
That's quite a decline.
Yeah.
And, I don't think it's an either or. I don't think it's you're either playing for the name on the front or you're playing to make some money and to improve your draft stock. I don't think it's an either or, but how do you find that mix in the middle? Like Golden has found at Florida, or like Nate Oates has found at Alabama, or even Tommy Izzo, granted, he's still more name on the front than anything else. How do you find that mix?
I think it's just got to be. I think the issue that everybody likes about Pope, he was a player. He loves this university. You can't question that love at all. But does that cause him not to be able to adapt to this new way of playing basketball, recruiting players, and getting them to play there? Because you're probably only going to have them 1 year. Izzo seems to have kind of found that, but he's been very vocal in complaining about this new way of how things are recruited and how things are run. I think Pope thought that his experience at Kentucky, he's trying to give these kids the exact same experience, but the game has changed. And you can't sell that same experience now that you sold 30 years ago. When Pope played, how many seniors were on that team? Tony Delk, Mark Pope, McCarty, and all those. We were shocked that Antoine Walker left after 2 years. What's he doing leaving after 2 years? Now it's like, he left after 6 months. I'm not shocked. I mean, that's just kind of that's just the way that it is. And it's not going to the NBA now. It's where can I go to get the most money, because I may not make the NBA. I got to make hay now in these next 3 or 4 years. So I think it's a difficult recruiting job, and he's got to have some help. I don't think the Kentucky name it still sells. It's still a big program, but it's not the ultimate deciding factor for as many kids as it used to be.
Well, talking about kids and what motivates them, one player you don't ever have to question her motivation is Kenley Woods at Eastern Kentucky University.
No doubt.
That freshman is having a phenomenal year. She is this week the Atlantic Sun Conference Player of the Week, Newcomer of the Week, and Freshman of the Week. Averaged over 20 points a game this season. And, Ryan, I think you were there the day she had that horrific incident just over a year ago on the soccer field in a game against West Carter, where she broke a compound fracture of her lower leg. I think some questions whether she would ever be able to play sports again after that injury, and here she is. Did you think she could achieve at this level this quickly?
I did not actually think she could achieve this much this quickly at this level. But, you can't put it past her being related to the Robinson family. Growing up, she's only known one thing growing up. That's playing basketball. That's resiliency. That's coming back from anything and playing as hard as you can out there every game. And she's done that her entire life, really, not only basketball career from birth till now. She's done that and been raised that way. And really, I think she's the product of what we've seen as an incredible decade of talent, starting with the Robinsons, really. Alexis and Mikasa Robinson back in 2014-15 area and on through now. I think they inspired a group of young players across the region. I mean, you got Haven Ford at Rowan County, the all-time leading scorer there. Shaylin Steele. I mean, Ashland's had a slew of great players. Even at Boyd County, Savannah Wheeler, one of the best
Stone
players.
from West
Allie
Carter.
Stone from West Carter. I mean, it's
Rachel Bush.
Rachel Bush at Greenup County, and
I mean,
of course my daughter Julia at
absolutely.
Ashland, and then Haley Sue Fouch, Shelby Gransberry. I mean, the talent we've seen in the last decade in girls basketball has been unlike any that we've ever seen in this area. And Kenley Woods is the penultimate of that talent making it here now after all those years.
Well, Brian, let me go to you because you are in a unique position from the other three of us up here is that you've actually coached against her. And I think it was easy to see early on. Kenley a little bit younger than some of those players. You mentioned Savannah, you mentioned Shaylin. Yeah. But when she stepped on the floor, even as an 8th grader, you just sort of knew something was different, didn't you?
I thought EKU got a steal.
Yeah.
The way she plays, the effort, the heart, take the ability away. She gives you everything else with that, starting right away Division I ability. I mean, I just think I've always thought they got a steal out of her and her staying local, and that injury might have been part of why she didn't go even bigger.
Well, I want to come back to that in just a moment, but Mike, you had a chance to watch her play on the road at Morehead State. What do you think about the way her teammates interacted her and looked at her in that leadership position?
It's amazing. You don't see a true freshman very often just in the first month of competition, essentially, because we were there actually the first probably 3 or 4 weeks because we were there right before Thanksgiving. And they looked to her as the leader on the court. This is a true freshman that was just playing high school basketball a few months before then. And you usually look for your upperclassmen and those types of ladies to lead the team. But it was almost like she'd been there for 3 or 4 years. The way she looked on the court, the way the players interacted with her, the way that they followed her leadership, and she had to sit for a little bit with some foul trouble and they looked a little bit more lost on the court. And I'm like, this is a girl that didn't even start to begin the year, and 2 weeks later she's starting, and she's the leader of the team.
Got to give a shout out to Jasmine Jordan on
Absolutely.
that team. She's not getting as much playing time, but that kid, when she's on the floor, has proven that she can play at that level. I think she's just got too much lap traffic in front of her to play more minutes right now.
I think the name is Voz, a really good post player for Eastern. She eats up a lot of minutes. She's a senior. Brian, you talked about EKU getting a steal with Kenley Woods. I think they're going to get a steal with Jasmine Jordan.
Yeah.
If she sticks around the next year, I think next year's a big breakout year for her.
Well, you just said something I want to come back to you on, is that Kenley Woods was a steal at that level for Eastern Kentucky University. And listen, we have to talk about it. It's 2026 now. I mean, she's got a chance to maybe bounce and get a bag somewhere next year.
Absolutely.
Is that a realistic option for Kenley Woods?
I think so, because to Mike's point earlier, these teams of men and women both are going out and recruiting in the transfer portal grown-ups, adults. You know, we talked about a guy today that's 26 years old playing at USC right now. So as she's only going to get better. So there's going to be options for her, I think, to maybe cash in.
We talked last week, about, that was Blake's, or 2 weeks ago, Blake Hester's message to high school athletes. If you can get somewhere that wants you, go put some numbers up, then you're going to have even more opportunities in that second, third, and fourth year. And I hope I didn't step on you, Ron. I'm sorry.
You sure didn't.
Chris, I thought
you said
was
it well. I think we should go to Jeff.
Yeah. Well, I honestly think, here's what I think, though. McKinley and Jasmine, if they're able to move up and get a little bit of bag of money, maybe we need to get a little bit of percentage of that.
I
here
think
in my
so.
opinion. That's
That's
what
been their
I
hype
think.
team,
I think we
haven't
need
we?
to get just a little bit of that.
Speaking of Jeff, I don't even know if he's even working anymore because once they dropped off the flatbreads, he just stopped paying
Yeah, he
attention to
just-
anything
he just
we
quit.
said.
He just quit.
Is that right, Jeff?
Yeah, it's right in front of me, so I'm just kind of distracted, just looking straight ahead there.
It's not close enough where we can drool on it, guys. So we're
No,
safe.
no,
We're good.
no.
That's good. That's
now,
good.
speaking as four guys that really have no life outside of what we do,
True.
Covering high school basketball right now. How sick are you of staying home and not having games to call? And when are we ever going to have games again around here in the 16th region, Northeast Kentucky? This weather's been awful, hasn't it?
It absolutely has. I'm going to say next month. I don't think we play the rest of the week.
You know, that's the thing is it's going to get colder.
Yeah.
Isn't it,
I know.
Ryan?
Yeah.
We've got a little
Yeah.
bit of a chance. A couple of days next week, it gets in the 30s. It looks like it's going to turn cold again. I don't know, but I can't remember if you guys. I think Brian and I might have had the last game. Tyler had Ashland on Saturday. Brian and I had the big Russell win over Campbell County on
Huge
Saturday.
win.
Oh.
That's the last time we've been on the call. So it's and everybody was, and that got from 5 games to 2 that day. So
Yeah.
it's hard to just stay in.
Just throwing this out there. I mean, has this happened before in my life? I don't seem to remember this many games being canceled over time. I mean, maybe our culture, we're just willing to cancel games that if we see some snow on the road now. I mean, I remember walking across snow on the Route 60 out here when they played the region at Boyd County one year, walking across piles of snow. And
Well, Boyd County wouldn't have been there. They would have been out of school
Exactly.
for a month or two. If that
they
happened.
wouldn't have been there. But we still played games. I mean,
Being at the region, they had a time frame where they had to
Yeah,
get
they
it
had
in.
to get it in, yeah,
so I
obviously.
can kind of see that a little bit, but
so we would be playing a region game tonight then?
I don't know. It might depend on when the state tournament would start.
By the way, I'm still for taking the region games back to the biggest high schools in the area.
Yeah.
So I think that's something we
Rotate
talked about it
them.
before.
And rotate them.
That needs to happen.
Yeah, it does.
I hit everything in that first block. I think I got everything
so.
in, didn't we?
You
Yeah,
sure did.
everything
Yeah.
that you sent us, you got it in.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back on Cross Section right after this.
So let's go big or let's go home.
We're working hard to show up every day.
Are you working hard for your school?
Pathways has been around for over half a century, providing quality behavioral health care services for 60 years.
Pathways is your certified community behavioral health care clinic. Learn more at pathways-ky.org. Expert care, backed by experience.
Get a medium one-topping pizza for $7.99 when you order online Sunday through Wednesday all month long. Enjoy premium taste and quality ingredients. Come hungry and taste the difference today. Find your locally owned Giovanni's and order now at giovannispizza.com.
Your family deserves nothing but the best.
The sky's the limit. Drew and Jonathan's Modular One sofas and sectionals at Big Sandy. They're fully customizable, oh so comfortable, and affordable. Modular One can be designed precisely to your liking, with multiple available pieces to choose from in 7 great colors, starting at $4.99. Pick what you need, combine, adjust, that's it. Your room, your way.
Shop Drew and Jonathan Home at Big Sandy Superstore.
Hey, y'all think we can do 25? 30. 1, 2, 15, 16, 21, 22, 30. Return, refresh, refuel.
And we're back here on Cross Section, segment 2. And in the break, we were delivered some what looks to be really good flatbread. One is a Philly steak from upstairs at Tuscan Prime. The other is a buffalo chicken flatbread. And I believe Ryan has already tasted. I don't want to put you on the spot while you're chewing. Or is that when I should put him on the spot, Ryan?
I mean, it's going to make for good TV.
All right,
We're looking
go
for
ahead.
anything.
Your thoughts on the buffalo chicken first.
I think it's outstanding. It's a little garlicky, but I've come to like garlic the last few weeks here, trying the garlic dishes.
Well, it is an Italian place. There's going to be garlic on everything. Mickey?
Well, I've only had the Philly cheesesteak, and that one bite was excellent. Steak was really good. It was tender. Man, it's excellent.
I just took too big of a bite.
Yep.
There you go.
Brian, what do you got?
No, I just took a bite.
Jeff, which one do you want?
Yeah.
This is great TV.
I'd like to try the Philly. I always like Philly.
Hand it over here.
I guess it's okay I touch it, Jeff.
Oh, it's fine.
Now, I do have COVID.
Oh.
That might be the last time we had all the games canceled.
Yeah. All right. So I came up with this question this afternoon to ask my panelists here. And then as I was standing here before the show, I realized it might mean something different to them than it does to me. The question, what would you give up for your team to win a state championship? For me, it's easy. I really only cover Ashland. I do lean in on Russell every now and again with Brian. But, I mean, I'm Ashland through and through. I played there. I call their games. So for me, it's pretty easy. But, Brian, for someone like you, Boyd County legend, if I think we have the video.
Oh, gee.
We can just play that.
I have no video.
What year was that, Brian?
That was 99.
1999 against Pikeville.
Yeah.
Tyler Zorn's maybe the best pass first point guard in the history of the 16th region. No?
I got my shots off.
Anyway,
I
kicked
saw
to you
it.
wide open.
He took a lot of shots.
You drained the three, and it was first of a few that you hit.
Yeah.
And so, but then we go back to this. Right now, your kids both at Russell. You know, you're a Lion, born and raised, but now you're the voice of the Russell Red Devils. Your kids are at Russell. Where does your loyalty lie?
A lot of it with Russell. I've got to know those kids. Coach Cooksey and I grew up together. Actually, we beat Coach Cooksey in that region final to get to that game and his Ashland Tomcats. So, you know, I'm always rooting for those guys. But for me, seeing success at the state level out of this region is I always enjoy that. No matter what the sport, no matter what state tournament it is.
So kind of a cop-out, but that's fine. Ryan, same situation with you. You grew up you went to Russell High School. Your kids both graduated from Ashland, and now you're covering Greenup County. Where would you say your loyalty lies at this stage in your life?
Well, that's a hard question right there. I mean, I've really enjoyed covering Greenup County for the last 3 years. It's a good environment down there. I've got to know the people at Greenup County, and my mom even graduated from Greenup County, so I have some ties there, and we live close down there. So, you know, I like all the teams in the area. I'm going to go the political way here as well. And it's hard to say, Chris. You know, you put us on the spot. Like, we all know you're the Ashland guy. Yeah. We know that.
Hey, I put my neck on the line, Ryan.
You didn't put your neck on the line. Everybody in the area knows you're the Ashland guy.
Yeah. Not new information.
All right, Mickey.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of in Ryan's boat. It's kind of a hard question for me. I graduated, played football, Boyd County, graduated a long time ago. But I've kind of been, to use a baseball term, a utility player in that all season I've covered Ashland, I've covered Russell. I don't think I've covered a Greenup game yet. I've covered Rowan. I've covered Greenup in other sports, Spring Valley.
I like Spring Valley. I like covering games up there.
It's kind of difficult for me. I mean, obviously it's my high school. What would I give up? Here's what I would say.
I haven't asked that question yet, Mike.
I know, but
you're jumping ahead.
State title, but here's what I would say. What I would like to see, I consider myself a my town school, and Brian will remember this because he was a coach on that team. I would love to go back and play the state tournament, girls and boys, in 2020.
Yeah.
See that Russell girls team and that undefeated Ashland boys team to see what they could do in that state tournament, because I think Russell was there and ready to play. They were like next game up when they were in the whole thing.
We were in the arena,
and I would love for those players to have that opportunity. That's what.
See,
if there
was
was
something
something
all the fun out of the question. Of course, we all agree on that. No.
Okay, you said you haven't asked the question, so ask the question.
I know, but I mean, of course, we all want to see them play in the 2020 state championship.
Nobody else said it, so I took it. So there you go.
All right. I'll start with me. I'm an Ashland guy, as we've established, as Ryan established. I call Ashland games. What I would give up to see my Ashland Tomcats win a state championship, or my Ashland Kittens, either one, okay? Because we have the Tomcats in football who won just a few years ago. I don't know if you guys know that or not.
Yes,
but
we
they
do.
won.
Trust me, we do.
Yeah, they won. I would say to see either the Kittens or Tomcats, I've thought about, would I give up like bread? And I figured it would be easier if I just gave up maybe like half of my pinky. At my age, I really don't need it.
We
I don't
went
need
from
it.
bread to
Yeah,
loss of
yeah.
a
No,
finger.
I would rather keep
that's
the
a
bread.
big jump from bread to a body.
I would rather
part.
keep the bread and give up half of my pinky to see one of my Ashland teams win a state championship. And I might even throw soccer in there too. Brian? First of all, you have to pick your team. And please make it long because I need to take another bite of this.
Well, for me, I'm going to kind of flip your question around. I would probably, to support a local team winning a state championship, I would do a lot of things, you know, and that would be more than I'm not going to lose a finger over it. But
Pinky. I mean, how often do you use your pinky? You could lose that in a car door any day.
yeah, that doesn't sound as crazy as the others. But, you know, I'm just going to stick with my answer. I'm always hopeful that whoever represents our region in any sport makes a deep run and has a shot at a championship. You know, Mike, talking about that 2020 team, we were in the arena.
Yeah.
When they
Had to be
came and
warm.
told the girls, it was one of my worst moments in sports was seeing those faces. And
So would you give an index fingernail for that team to win a state championship, or at least let's say not win it, but to finish out the season and either win or lose on their own?
I would give up bread.
You give up bread first?
I would give up bread.
Everybody wants to give up bread.
No, I don't.
Nah,
I need to
Okay.
anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we finished off our plates already.
Ryan,
I mean, I'm not giving up bread. I can tell you that.
Ryan, let's say Julia's senior season at Ashland.
Boy, that's
What would you have given up?
You're really pulling the
Oh,
heartstrings.
because your
Chris.
kids don't play sports, neither did mine. So Ryan, it's a different thing with Ryan.
Yeah.
that was a different, wow.
Well, Chris, I mean, that's why I brought this to show my attitude there. You'll check it out there in her high school career. This was me, so you can imagine what I would have given up there, what that person screaming on that cover would have given up. So I can't even put it into words, really.
I just can't believe you guys won't just say it. A toe?
No.
A tooth?
I don't
How
know
about
about
a
body
tooth?
parts. When
How
he's-
about a tooth? Not a molar.
One of the back ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Mickey,
Here's what I'll say.
here we go.
No. I'm just going to say a pinky toe.
Yeah, they don't do anything.
I know, but here's what I'm going to say. I give up a pinky toe if my team could win the state championship and I get to call the game.
He wants a little self.
gotta be in it for
Whether
you.
that's audio or video.
No, I got it. There's got to be something in it for you.
That's
I
fine.
understand.
Because I
understand.
really enjoyed following the Boyd County Lions last year in baseball all the way to the Final Four.
Yeah.
That was very exciting watching my team, the school that I graduated from, make a run to the state Final Four. So, yeah, I could do that.
Okay. Well, there you have it. We're going to take another break. We come back. We will. What do we have left? We're going to talk about the 16th region boys and girls, how it's playing out at this point in the season. Still a big enough chunk of the season left to maybe move some chess pieces around, but things are starting to come into form. We'll talk about that when we come back. And also, if we had an Olympics
I like this.
for our My Town producers, what events would we throw into that Olympics? We'll talk about that when we come back right here on Cross Section after this.
Pick six for $19.99, a perfect meal for two.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on pick six, my mouth going yap yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap flap. Dave is so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap. Pick six meal for two for $19.99.
This country runs on skilled hands, and right now, we don't have enough of them. Electrician jobs are booming, and IBEW Local 317 is training the folks who'll keep America lit. If you're ready to learn a trade that matters, visit us at 1848 Madison Avenue, Huntington.
It's not just about saving up. It's learning what it means to earn something for yourself, a few dollars at a time. It's about earning your independence. Every deposit, every goal, every step closer. People's Bank. Working together, building success.
It's our New Year's sales event going on right now at Dutch Miller Kia in Barbersville.
For a limited time during the New Year's sales event going on right now at Dutch Miller Kia in Barbersville, get 0% APR for 48 months on remaining 2025 Tellurides and brand new 2026 Sorrentos in stock. And be sure to ask about deferred payments for 90 days for qualified buyers.
See our complete inventory and even get pre-approved 24/7 at DutchMillerKia.com.
Wait a minute, hang on. In the break, Ryan Parker very enthusiastically said that if we want to tase him during a show, that he would volunteer to do that. Ryan, what is, explain to me.
It was spoken like a guy that's been tased before.
Yeah, and he liked it.
I haven't been before, but I mean, it wouldn't be a bad experience, probably. I mean,
it would be a really bad experience, right?
Really bad experience. Well, we may find out here on Cross Section, right?
Well, I mean, we can arrange that to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know some folks at APD. I'm sure if you would sign a waiver.
Oh, you have to sign a waiver first?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we're just trying to set up a lawsuit?
I mean, I'm getting concerned. Oh, you have to sign a waiver?
Yeah.
Now
I have my attorney ready to go.
Okay. Well, now I see the motivation.
Yeah.
So, and also, another conversation we had during the break, let's look at the 16th region over the past 5 years. I want each one of you to answer. Pick one player that your life is on the line and they have to hit a free throw to save it. Mike, who do you go with?
Let me get my buffalo chicken flatbread.
Should I go to Brian Hall while you're chewing?
I'm good. I got it. One of my town's all-time favorite players,
I know who you're going to say.
Blake Stewart, Boyd County High School, who I'm going with the free throw to save my life.
Okay.
So I'm going with.
I mean, are you saying prime Blake Stewart or are you saying Blake Stewart today?
Well, I would assume it would be prime.
I didn't really set that. What we need to establish is this prime.
Sure, I'll go with it now.
Let's
Blake Stewart,
right now?
I would still go with Blake.
Sure, I'll
Okay.
go with Blake.
I haven't seen Blake shoot in a while. That's the only thing I know. Maybe he
may
lost
not have picked up a basketball in a while.
Maybe he lost a pinky in a bet.
He graduated from center just a year ago.
He's been coaching. So
Yeah, he just
middle
graduated
school
from
ball.
center a year ago.
All right.
So, yeah.
All right, Ryan.
Well, I'll go with my daughter, Julia. She was career over 80%, and surely she would want to save my life.
Maybe?
I would hope. Yeah, you're right.
We don't know. Let's have Julia on the show and let Julia tase Ryan.
That's what I was saying.
And then we'll find out whether or not that's true.
Ryan, you would not sue your daughter for tasing you, would you?
No, I wouldn't sue her.
See, there
for
we go.
anything.
There's our answer.
Yeah.
Boom.
You would
No
sue the
waiver
manufacturer.
required.
Brian Hall.
I'm going with a current guy
Okay.
at Russell.
Yeah.
My buddy Ryder Burgess would take care of me, I believe.
Okay. All right. This may surprise you, but I have two.
Let me guess who they play for.
You're right. The most clutch shooter that I have seen in an Ashland uniform in the last couple decades, Mr. Cole Villers.
You know, I had his name written down. He was going to
Yeah.
be the boy that I would
Yeah.
pick if I had to pick a boy. Yeah.
And then I would probably go with Kenley Woods on the girls' side. Those are my two. If you had to pick a boy and girl, what would it be? Besides Ryder, who would you go with?
I would go with another Russell player,
Yeah.
a girl
Yeah, you got
that
an easy answer.
that I loved being clutch. She was clutch, came up huge as the region MVP in 2020. That's Kaylee Ross. That would
Okay.
be my pick.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good one. I thought you were going to go with Kennedy Darnell.
I did too.
With her percentage.
Nah, Kaylee was one of the most clutch players I was ever around.
So you're going gut instead of numbers.
Talk about a region MVP.
Okay.
She had a huge championship.
I mean,
game
she
against
went
Warriors
crazy
every year.
that night. So
This, by the way, this show's taking a really dark turn.
What is that?
And we're talking about losing fingers and shooting free throws
It's all
for
coming
your
from
life.
Exactly.
I know. I didn't realize that when I put the schedule together that we were going so dark
That
tonight.
UK Vandy game really did something to him last night.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It made me think.
Yeah.
I had to reflect on some things. But anyway,
Mike's got to pick a girl now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll stick on the Boyd County side, and I'll go with Savannah.
yeah, that's
Can't go
clutch.
wrong there.
That's clutch. Parker, did
I
you
already
pick a
made
boy?
my picks.
Boy.
Oh, Cole Villers. I already had him written down here.
yeah,
Oh,
No
okay, all
question.
right, I missed that.
Yeah, he wouldn't miss.
Well, so what we were actually going to talk about during this segment is the 16th region boys and girls and how they're shaping up right now. and I polled my group here before we started on where they felt each region would shake out. We were pretty much chalk in most. I did have in the 61st. I went against you guys. We all had Rowan. You guys all had Fleming. I had Bath, and I'm just playing the numbers on that right now. Granted, Fleming did beat Bath in their one meeting so far this season. Bath has an overall better record, a better district record, and I just think Fleming is just they had so much last year, and they're so down this year. I mean, Buddy Biggs, you can't look past him, of course, but that's why I went that way. Your thoughts on why you went with Fleming, Ryan, first?
Yeah, the 61st district, I think the coach, Buddy Biggs there, I would go with him. It's going to be really close. It's going to be a good 2 and 3 seed game there between Fleming and Bath in the 61st tournament. I think our My Town school, Rowan, I think they're the chalk across the board there to win that 61st, no doubt.
Mike, I think they're only going to get better as we get closer to the end of the season. What do you think?
I would agree. I mean, a player that really jumped off the page to everybody was Cameron Cross, and how great a season he's had so far. Yeah, I think in the 61st, I picked Fleming simply because I think they're probably a little bit better than Bath. More than likely, it's going to be Fleming and Bath in that first round. Rowan's going to be taking on Menifee. Should be around, but I think in the 61st, 62nd, and 63rd, really boys and girls, we've talked about it before, seeding's going to be important.
Yeah.
And then we talk about the region, the draw is going to be important. In these districts, if they have 3 weeks to jockey for position, it's going to be interesting to see. You want to avoid that 4 spot so you don't have to play the 1. But those 2-3 matchups in every district are going to be tough.
And this doesn't directly take into account any seeding for the district tournaments, although, I mean, it sort of does and it sort of doesn't. I mean, we know the 4 is going to play the 1, and we know who the 1's likely going to be at each one.
We know who the 1's likely going to be, but we don't know 2, 3, and 4 yet. That's what makes it interesting.
We have some parity. I think we do. In fact, I missed Ryan. Did I get you wrong on the 62nd? I had you with Morgan and
I'm
Elliott.
good with you in the 62nd there. Yeah, Morgan County and Elliott for me.
So, Brian, why did you go with East Carter?
Looking at the records, looking at the games played, I haven't seen a lot of the 62nd, but I thought that would probably be the team I would take right now.
I don't think anybody's seen a lot of the 62nd, especially Elliott and Morgan. I know, Mike, you have.
I had Morgan when they beat Russell at Morgan there. I guess it's been almost 3 weeks ago now. And then I had East Carter in the very first game of the season where they came back on Greenup County. Greenup was up about 15 to 17 points, and East Carter come back. It was a game at East Carter, and they came back and won that ball game. They're a very solid fundamental team, and we've seen them when they get to the region tournament, and the same way in the district. You think, oh, well, you can handle East. They're 12-5 on the year. I think they're 9-1 in the region.
Yeah.
Now, haven't played the top teams in the National Boyd, but I think they're very solid. They don't get sped up. Very cerebral team.
Kind of like us.
Yeah, exactly. Probably the exact opposite of us. But I think they don't make a ton of mistakes, and in the postseason, I think they're going to wind up coming out of that in first or second.
63rd, I think we all agreed that Russell is the favorite. Although the 63rd, if you ask me, it's as close to wide open as you're going to get in the 16th region. I do think I think Russell is the favorite. I think they're the heavy favorite. But as we saw just this week, Russell struggled at home against Lewis County.
Yeah, and that 63rd boys has been since I've been, with my town and covering Russell, it's been one of the most competitive districts I've ever been around. I mean, I think Russell is the kind of the class of it right now, but whoever comes out of that second spot wouldn't surprise me if any of the 3.
So Mike and Ryan and I took Lewis County.
Well, you got a misprint on that because I'm taking my Musketeers at Greenup County there for the second seed in the 63rd.
You saying I made a mistake?
You made a mistake, Chris. You do that from time to time. I know it's hard to believe, but you did.
I think I'll go back and check the text message, but I'm pretty sure you said Lewis in your text message.
No, I believe in the youth of Greenup County. They're going to come together with the veteran players here in the final month of the season, and they're going to pull off the upset.
Hey, our town games that we had at Greenup against Raceland not long ago, Raceland boys looked really good.
Oh, yeah,
good too. Greenup boys looked really good against Raceland. They didn't pull out the win, but they were right there and they were competing. And Lewis, Mike,
Boy.
and I want to see where you are with this. With me, it just comes down to what matters in postseason play. Getting to the free throw line and knocking down your free throws. You've got Julian Puente right now who's shooting almost 14 free throws a game right now on the season.
More than some teams.
Yeah, as a team, Lewis is shooting right around 23 free throws per game. The team that's second in the 16th region at free throw shooting is closer to the team that is 8th in the region in free throw shooting. That's how often they get to the line, and that means something down the stretch, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's that, getting to the line when you get into tight games, sometimes the whistle gets tighter, so you wind up having more fouls called. You get into the bonus quicker, and if you can get, if Puente's in the game, obviously he's drawing fouls now. I think, it gets to be a tighter called game when you get to the postseason sometimes. And I think Lewis County, for whatever reason, when that calendar gets late February to early March, something weird in the water down at Kenny Connect that they just wind up finding a way. I mean, I remember 2 or 3 years ago, I was calling a game with our dear friend that passed, Merle Kidwell, had Lewis County, and I think they went to double overtime with a Boyd County team that had beat them like by 40 earlier in the season, and they went to a double overtime, and Boyd County pulled out that win. But you can never count Lewis County out in the postseason.
You said it postseason, the whistles get tighter, but I don't think it gets any tighter than it does in Vanceburg, Kentucky, as it has all season long. So I don't think that's going to be a big switch for Lewis. It's been a tight whistle for them, and it's been the reason why they've gotten the line so much all year. Let's switch to the girls now. Actually, no, boys.
You're skipping the 64th.
No disrespect. I don't want to disrespect them. Listen, Brian and I called a game at Fairview this year for their Fairview Invitational Tournament. I thought they put on a terrific show. It was well organized. You could smell the popcorn popping in the park when you pulled up in the parking lot. It was just that kind of, just a great high school basketball environment. I think they're trying to build something there, something very special, or build it back to what it was. Not there yet. What do you think, Brian?
No, I mean, it's still Ashland and Boyd County coming out of the 64th. It's just a matter of who comes out as a 1 seed, who comes out as a 2.
Yeah. And, Mike, Ashland has won both regular season matchups with Boyd. Does that mean anything going forward?
No, I don't think it means a thing.
No.
I don't think it means a thing. I mean, because, and to be honest with you, the expectation is Boyd County will be the 2 seed. They'll play Fairview in the first round of the district. You expect Boyd County to beat Fairview. Boyd and Ashland, all at they're going to be on the opposite side of the region bracket. I think for me, it's if you're Ashland or Boyd, you want to win the 64th because you expect Russell to win the 63rd, and you won't have to match up with Russell first round.
Yeah, Russell
That's my thing of the 64 champion, what they got to look at.
Russell will be difficult in Moorhead, no doubt about it.
So you could at least put them off to at least the semis.
Ryan, Ashland has played pretty much a perfect game against Boyd County in both their meetings so far this season. Boyd County really, they've had spurts where they look really good. Other times, defensively, they would break down, and there was definitely room for improvement. Does Ashland need to play a perfect game to continue to beat Boyd County?
I don't think they necessarily need to play a perfect game, but you're right. Somehow this year they have managed to do that so far. Elijah Neal, what was he, 6 of 7 from behind the three-point line in the game.
And even Justin Hughes stepped up with some big shots.
And I think the team
big
hit 14 threes. Ashland hit 14 or 15 threes.
Yeah, I don't think it's – I mean, as we've seen with the Ashland-Boyd County rivalry the last few years, I mean, Boyd County, we won one year and beat Ashland 3 times, but Ashland won the one that counted. And so it's really all comes down to the one that's going to be played there at Moorhead. Very likely those 2 teams will be in the finals again. And we'll see. It's a different style of game, different officials from a different region, and it always seems to matter down there at Moorhead. So we'll see then.
Are you ready to sing our 16th region champion prediction to us?
Boy, I don't know if I could pull that off the cuff, Chris. That's too tough for me there. Yeah.
That is off the cuff, by the way. I did not prep him with that. That is completely spontaneous.
I don't know where I'd come with it. Are we going to break? Jeff can take us out if we're headed to break.
No, we're not. No. No, we're coming back to all the awkwardness that you're thinking about right now. So you go ahead, and then we're just going to go quiet.
No, I'll just play a song I know then, if that's the case. So, yeah. No, go ahead, Chris.
Well, let's talk about the girls then.
Let's talk
the
about the
16th region girls, and maybe we'll go out to your predictions for boys and girls. So you need to start writing down some lyrics right now. Get some bars.
Probably need to.
Get some bars ready.
That's a challenge right there.
No pressure.
Start with the 61st again. Across the board, if you look at our predictions, pretty much chalk. All of us had Rowan and Menifee. I think Rowan obviously deserves to be in that conversation. Menifee, you look at the play of Peyton Burgess so far this season, some other players on that team. I don't think there's any competition for those two in the 61st. Mike.
I wouldn't completely count out Fleming County. They played Rowan tight. Not saying that they will. I think that the 61st district is at Fleming County this year. So that gives them a home game if they get in that 2-3, seeded game in the first round. Maybe they pull an upset over Menifee or Rowan. I think Rowan and Menifee are the top two teams.
Yeah, it'll likely be Menifee that they play in the first round.
And so I think it would be a tough sell, but if I'm correct, and if that's at Fleming, at least they have the home court advantage for a chance to maybe get to the 16th region. But I think it's going to be Rowan and Menifee to come out of that.
62nd, Morgan, and I'll be honest, I don't know a lot about Morgan. I haven't seen them this year, but I just went and reviewed their stats, their percentages. They're on top of the 62nd right now, and then I paired them with East Carter, as you guys did too. You called East Carter and Russell recently. What did you like about East Carter? Put them in there.
I also called Morgan and Russell earlier this year too.
I think Morgan played Russell tight this year.
Morgan County, actually, I felt like had a couple of calls gone Morgan County's way, they would have beat Russell that night. It was down to the last couple of minutes, and of course Russell, like you mentioned, Kennedy Darnell and Gabby Elborn, they just put you away at the foul line.
Yeah.
But I was impressed with East Carter. The way that they shared the basketball, they mixed up some defenses and things. So.
Can I call timeout real quick? I want you to look at Ryan Parker. He's writing down lyrics. He's writing down lyrics right now.
Wheels turning.
Mike, anything you want to add to that?
No, I think it's East and Morgan, and I don't necessarily think it's close there. I think those two. Yeah. If that's to me, that's the most sure bet of boys and girls across all these districts.
63rd, I have Russell and Raceland. Honestly, the second team, I could just as easily have gone with Greenup girls. I do think Raceland is just a little bit better in a one-off scenario. Does Greenup have enough to beat them? In my opinion, yes. I still think Raceland's the better team. Mike, you went with Greenup.
I went with Greenup. I think Coach Ruggles has done a nice job. He's really turned that team around. They're playing much better this season. I think they only won 2 or 3 ball games this year. Right now they're sitting at 8-8. Talking about the Our House game where it was Greenup and Raceland, a doubleheader. The girls were down, I think it was 17-1, and came back and it was a 4 or 5 point game. So I think they've got an opportunity. I think the district is at Russell this year, so it's kind of a neutral court. So that may not help Greenup because that game was at. But I'm going with the Greenup County Musketeers, the Lady Musketeers, to make the region out of that, and Russell obviously taking the championship.
Ryan, if I ask your opinion, am I going to interrupt your process?
No, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. Why Greenup girls?
Well, the Greenup girls. Wow, they've really put up some good showings as of late this year. I mean, they really impressed me in a game against Bath County earlier this year. Going to Maddie Steele a lot underneath the basket in the post there. They looked like they were coming together, and I think the Raceland game, they got off to a really bad start, got down 17-1, as we mentioned last week on the show, and had an impressive comeback in that one. They look like they're going in the right direction right now. They have some good talent. A 7th grader, Tenley Melvin, is doing a great job for them. They're just looking a lot better. And really, the rest of the district, Lewis County, they've already got a district win over Lewis County this season. And Raceland is Nim Maynard. If you can guard Nim Maynard, then you got a chance there. And so, I don't know what defense you would employ against her, Brian. You're the coach.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Brian. I assume that Nim Maynard factored into your prediction of Raceland winning and going and advancing on to the regional.
Absolutely. She really showed up against Russell, just found herself with 3 fouls in the first half. Coach Thomas, the guy that I put on the Mount Rushmore of the 16th region, as a player and a person. So I just feel like those two are Russell and Raceland, and I don't even know that it's 100% that Russell wins that district, even though they're the favorite.
Yeah. I mean, Russell, when they're on, as you saw against Campbell, they are a really good team, a team that deserves to be in the conversation for a 16th region title. when they're not, they've looked really bad at times this year, haven't they?
They have, and they get themselves a little bit out of rhythm, and they start kind of wanting to go one-on-one more than they should. But when you look at what Coach Lane's done, it's over 70 wins, I think, in a row over the 63rd district. So it's the same thing as Ashland on the boys' side. You've got to beat the team to be the team.
So finally, we have the 64th. I don't think there's going to be any disagreement. Ashland and Boyd County, again, just like on the boys' side, moving on to the 16th region. That's where we are now. We might recall some of these predictions in a few weeks when we actually get into district play and see where we all fall. And one thing I wanted to ask you to change the subject to wrap things up, we talked about, our production crew does such a great job. They always work so hard for us. But we wonder if we had, just stick with me, a My Town production crew Olympics. What would that look like? What events? Can you come up with any events? Let's say if we want to come up with this, and I think this is something we should do on cross-section, and we need to come up with the events. So if you could come up with events for our production crew. Now, understand, let me set the table. We've got a couple who understand sports. Most of them are not sports people, okay? They're just not. They're kind of techies, maybe gamers, and that's what makes them so good at what they do, but they don't really get sports so much. So we have a couple, if you see that, if you show that slide, you want to show that up again. One of them, I thought, a great contest would be late sleeping.
Yeah.
To see which one could sleep the latest in the afternoon and show up like they just rolled out of bed for a 7:30 game.
That would. Who's judging that? Because that would be a difficult. I don't want to be a judge on that one because that would be. There's a lot of people that could get the gold on that one.
And another one that I've tried to do it myself. I'm terrible at it. It sounds like it would be easy. Cable rolling up cable after a production to make it orderly and it's not crinkled and you don't do damage to it.
Not crinkled in speed.
Yeah, speed. Yeah. You would do speed and would you go distance? Meaning distance, the length of the cable?
Length of the cable, yeah.
Or do you just do say like it's a 30-second time? You've got 30 seconds to roll it as tightly as you can.
I don't know. To me, that leads to violence between the production crew. So I don't know if we could do that one.
Well, speaking of violence, keyboard chucking. How about that? Who can throw a keyboard the farthest?
That's not bad. I'd like to throw a little bit of athletic ability into this one.
Oh, I think that's a horrible idea.
Well, but just listen, it's not a lot.
Okay.
It's you have a backpack that's full of equipment that everyone it's the same weight for everybody. Who can get to the top of Morehead State University's gymnasium
the fastest?
Okay, yeah. I like it. The gymnasium. I was thinking
because that's not all you got to do is go upstairs.
Yeah.
I was thinking the Rowan County football field. I thought that's
well, we can do that one too. We can do that one too.
Put them out in the winter.
Maybe we could do that this week. This
Rocky
weekend,
Balboa
where it's 15 degrees. Yeah. That would be.
And what do you think of this one, Brian? How about we do a sports trivia contest?
Yes.
But it's who could answer the fewest questions.
That
should actually be part of our application process, I think.
Yeah.
If you can't answer any sports questions, you probably should be part of our team.
That might be the most competitive event that anyone has ever put on.
Yeah. If you have a D&D character, you're probably qualified to work in production for My Town. I think that's safe to say.
I feel like there needs to be some sort of eating popcorn or something contest as well.
Well, that's us, actually.
Well, you are a popcorn guy.
You mentioned D&D, Dungeons and Dragons.
Maybe, not our friends D&D down south.
No, not
McCoy and his guys who did such a great job.
Dungeons and Dragons, but for the production folks, maybe when we have a week where we have no games, there's a D&D tournament that they put out there, and let's just see who wins the D&D tournament from the production stage.
Oh boy,
it would be horribly boring.
Yeah,
it would be horribly.
But
boring.
I don't think you win. I don't think you win D&D, do you?
Technically, no. You survive the quest. Yeah. Is that what it is?
It's kind of like Monopoly. It never ends.
Yeah. And then finally, I think the last would be Greco-Roman wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
In the leotard.
In the leotard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. If we're gonna do anything, let's see who can stand up the longest getting tased. Since we're already getting a taser out.
Ryan, would you be okay with that?
Yeah, sure.
Before I throw it to you to throw us out, I got to throw up this picture of. You got to look at this. I found this online today.
This is the 04 Olympic team.
2004 assistant coaches of the men's basketball Olympic team. Can they see the whole thing, Jeff? Can they see how obnoxious those shorts are?
I can fix that. Hold on.
Yeah, the whole thing is the shorts. Jeff, you don't even have the shorts on the screen?
That's pitiful.
Put the shorts on. That was the whole joke, Jeff.
Yeah. They look like a group of people that
There you
yell
go.
touch money before every game.
Look at this. This is how, and listen, I was coaching back in these days, so I've got to be honest. How desperate were coaches to connect with their players?
Yes.
I mean, that's exactly what you see in this picture. Look at Pop. I mean, Pop's shorts down to almost his ankles. But the thing is, you notice all their shirts are tucked in. Their golf shirts are neatly tucked in, right around their belly buttons. Mm-hmm. So they're like all business up top, all party down low.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, for me, obviously, if anybody's watched this show, I'm sitting right now, I'm 6'1". When I stand up, I'm 5'6". But these shorts would have to be hemmed if I wore them at the waist.
You're a big torso guy.
I'm a very long torso guy. The legs just doesn't happen. That's why I play football and not basketball, because it just wasn't going to happen on the basketball.
But looking at this now, looking at this picture, you can't get over the absurdity of the length of the shorts.
I mean,
it wasn't just the players; it was the coaches.
Yes.
I don't know. You used to wear these, Brian, when you played. This was your era.
It wasn't. We were kind of at the beginning of that era in the late 90s. Into college and stuff, we still kind of wore the. But, the Popovich, I feel like somebody's playing a prank. Like he showed up in his locker and those were in there. I don't think that he had anything to do with picking those.
What year Olympic team was that?
It's been 04.
04. I'm trying to think of what player that looks like. Pop is wearing Shaquille O'Neal shorts.
But listen, let's not let Roy Williams off the hook here.
No, there's no doubt.
He's way too old to dress like that in this picture.
Absolutely.
He should be wearing a nice pair of khakis.
Yeah.
Well,
and maybe a phone on his belt.
There you go.
That was the beginning of the phone on your belt era.
Yes, it was.
That would have made sense.
Yes, it would.
Okay, and Ryan, finally.
I'll take us out, right?
Well.
Nope.
Yeah, why don't you take us out? Next week's show, we think we're going to have on a few local players. We're going to tease that. We'll release it on our social. If we don't have games to make up, we're going to tease that on our social media throughout the course of the week. So keep an eye on MyTown TV, and we might actually activate the old cross section Facebook page too. We'll see if Brian wants to take that one on.
One thing we got to remember. Let's thank Tuscan Prime.
Absolutely.
Flatbread tonight. It was outstanding.
Awesome, yeah.
The wings last week were really good too. So
I'll come back and just have the flatbread for lunch.
Absolutely.
So as always, I want to thank you for joining us, and I promise we'll do better next time. Now, Ryan Parker, take us out.
Little girl 16th region song.
That's
what
right.
We came up with here. Will it be Rowan and Matt Stokes? Morgan's Cougars are not jokes until it. Oh, come on now, Ryan. Wait, will it be the veteran Mandy Lane or her student with the Boyd County Lions mane? Will it be Ashland we shall see or a surprise like Menifee? Will it be East Carter's Raiders? We will find out a little later. Oh, the 16th region tournament will be the best around, and you can watch it all right here on my town.
Thank you. Good night.